playoffs, and my hair's a mess because the entire game I'm sitting watching the TV. And that's not to say it was necessarily stressful until the third period, but to see Vancouver go from basically trading games to almost a collapse was nerve-wracking. And obviously there's some pointers as to why this happened. The two goaltenders that they have are out right now and will not be coming in for obvious reasons. Besser goes down with a blood clot, which is actually very serious. But in the third period, they tried the comeback, and it just fell short. So let's cover the game, and then I'll talk about the rest of the stuff I need to talk about, including an update as to what's going to happen for the rest of the playoffs. So first period, and to get things out of the way, 3 scrums, 0 fights. That's the way she goes because Game 7s aren't violent anymore. And the first period's kind of quiet, especially where the goals are concerned. Those come later. But it was a lot of trading chances. Shilov's had to make some incredible saves. And where credit is due, Vancouver really had to rely on Shilov's. And man, did he step up. But we go into the second period, and that's when the gateway will open for the goal scoring. At least for one side, Edmonton gets a couple goals in this one. Cody Ceci gets a cross-point pass from Kulak. Ceci, by the way, I don't think I've ever said that name on here, at least not for goals. He takes a shot, it goes into the back of the net. So that's 1-0 for Edmonton. Shilovs will respond with one heck of a save on Draisaitl, lunging across with his glove to grab the puck that's headed straight for basically an empty net. Kane also gets stopped on a small break, but the Oilers will find a way to score again. Bouchard's got the puck, he adjusts, and he rips the puck. It hits the post, it hits the beam behind the post where the camera is mounted onto inside the net. So it was like a ding-ding kind of goal. That's one way to describe a goal. Very proud of that one, we're keeping it. But it turns out, Hyman got a piece of it, so the goal's credited to him. And finally in this period, Oilers will go on the power play. Bouchard's got the puck, he's on the right side. He takes a shot, it misses wide, it banks off the backboards and banks back out. Nugent Hopkins collects, and he's on a hard angle. He takes a shot, it bounces off of the shoulder of Shilov's and into the back of the net. 3-0. Keeping in mind that at this point, the shot total, Edmonton had double what the Vancouver Canucks had. So, clearly Vancouver was struggling in this one. But that brings us to the third period, where, again, it starts off really quietly. The first 10 minutes go by, and I was actually kind of getting concerned because there were some points where the Oilers would try and, rile up the tension and get the Canucks to try and respond in a violent manner. And there was no pushback, at all. It looked like the Canucks were just defeated. And there was still time left in the game. They were just defeated. But Garland will bring the building to life. Edmonton makes a stupid pass, and it's picked off. The puck's loose. Garland finds it. He squares up to the net. He takes the shot. It goes into the back of the net. Everyone goes nuts. 3 minutes later, Hronek gets a chance from the point. He takes the shot. It goes into the back of the net. And now we're 3-2. And the time's winding down. And finally, Vancouver is starting to find their groove a little bit. But ultimately, it falls up short. Edmonton wins 3-2, and they move on to face Dallas, who, by the way, in the regular season, Edmonton's beaten them once in this last season, 4-3 in overtime. Stars beat Edmonton 4-3 on November 2nd, and Stars beat the Edmonton Oilers 5-0 April 3rd. And April, if you don't know, is that time when things start ramping up for the playoffs and everyone's trying to find their slots in the division. So both teams should have been going hard in that game. That could be the reflection that we see. That being said, to Vancouver, this season is nothing to be ashamed of. This is something that was not expected to happen, especially after last season. And if nothing else, the boys on the Canucks get the experience. They get the playoff experience, and now they know for next year what they need to do. Part of that being shoot more, and I'm thinking possibly the Canucks could benefit from a new voice. Artur Shilovs has come out and basically proven his worth. He's the third stringer. He played like a starter in this series. The Canucks are in good hands. If they can figure out the shoot button, they're pretty well set. I think that they could go far. They really do have this chokehold mentality with their defense. It's kind of fallen apart near the end, but I think it was just, as a lot of people have put it, they ran out of gas. And that's it for this series. Edmonton faces Dallas, bringing back a rivalry that we haven't seen since the 90s and the early 2000s. So that should be a good one. We'll see if the ferocity shows up in this series. Maybe, hopefully. And as far as it goes to where this channel is concerned when it comes to following the playoffs, I've made up my mind on something. I'm going to follow the Oilers until they lose. If they lose in 5 against Dallas, I'm done. And the reason for that is I still haven't really taken the time to process what I have to do now that my team, being the Coyotes, has moved on. I've got to rebrand. I've got to grieve still. I haven't taken the time to really do that. So I'm going to probably take a little bit of time to do that. If Edmonton goes and takes it to the Stanley Cup final, I mean, at that point, I'm kind of handcuffed into I have to do that because I'm putting that on myself. I am following the Oilers till they lose. So we'll see what happens. That said, if by chance Edmonton drags it out and some of the games end up happening like it should go, I believe, games start, the third round starts on Thursday. Next game should be Saturday, then Monday, then Wednesday, then Friday. Those games I can cover. But as soon as it goes Sunday for Game 6 and Tuesday for Game 7, I won't be able to cover those. I'm going to be in Chicago on a bit of a vacation, and I'm treating it as such. So if it comes down to that, those games won't be covered. And that's all I've got for this one. So, in the meantime, stay howling. Go former Yotes. If you liked what you saw, you can hit the like button. If you didn't like what you saw, you can hit the dislike button. Hello, Vancouver. I get it. If you want to see more of this, I'm going to follow the Oilers for the rest of the way. So if you want to watch what the Oilers are doing from a Coyotes fan's point of view, this is the channel for you. Share this with your friends, and I'll be back.